Hi, Andrew Bell here with you once again. Great to present a further market update. Before going on to look at one of the additional dimensions to our annual property report, a couple of quick pieces of relevant market feedback. March finished off an outstanding quarter. We saw sales more than double the quarter of the same time last year. Quite remarkably, our sale of $79.8 million for the month was exactly the same figure as the previous month. This is encompassing about 170 sales, which is up 28.3% on March last year. This activity is certainly reflecting a good, strong, healthy market. March also saw the launch of the new Jewel development right on the beachfront, which is our first $1 billion residential development on the Gold Coast, a significant achievement and just one example of the massive confidence in the Gold Coast region. But we will talk more about that development in upcoming reports. Last Easter Saturday also celebrated the 3-year mark until the opening ceremony of the Commonwealth Games in 2018. Here on the Gold Coast, of course. It's coming around so very quickly. There's a brand new and quite spectacular and inspirational video that was released to commemorate the event, the 3-year mark, and I've attached that link to this newsletter. Do yourself a favour and take a few minutes to have a view of it. On to what is now our fourth fundamental that drives the Australian property market, and that's employment, or as some people would prefer to describe it, unemployment. Remember, we've already reviewed the economy as the first fundamental, interest rates as the second, and population growth as the third fundamental. Employment levels are closely linked to real estate as it creates buyer ability, or the lack thereof, to borrow money to purchase properties, and the ability to repay the loans associated with it. There are actually two aspects to the topic of unemployment, and sadly only one of those two gets significant airplay. The two aspects are employment growth and unemployment levels. Do you know that over the past 5 years, Australia has created 165,000 new jobs every year? It's quite a remarkable achievement, and this is something that seems to be pushed aside when considering the aspect of unemployment. Remember, we spoke in the last e-newsletter about our very strong population growth. Well, if we weren't creating so many jobs every year, we would have massive unemployment levels. So let's give the country a bit of credit by the fact that we are creating so many jobs every year. The total number of people employed in Australia is at an all-time high at 11.6 million, which is, as I say, a new record. However, over the past year, job creation was the lowest in 20 years. Now, the Australian Bureau of Statistics recent figures during the second half of 2014 were extremely volatile, particularly between July and September. So much so that they investigated this and looked into the instability, found there was no systematic cause. For example, the job figures for August last year were stunning, with the biggest rise in the number of people with jobs recorded since July 1978, when the figures were first compiled. The trend prior to that August figure was very weak. So when August posted a growth of 121,000 jobs for the month, it eclipsed the employment growth of the entire 12 months leading up to August. It's quite remarkable. On screen at present is our unemployment figure, which is what so much of our media focus is on. I think they get pleasure out of making us feel uncomfortable, although there is a reality to the effects of unemployment. Unemployment rose to 6.2% last October, then to 6.3% in November, before falling to 6.1% December. But it has been on the rise again back in 2015, heading up to 6.4% in February, falling again in March to 6.3%. It does seem to be that we're vacillating in that 6 to 6.5% range. Whilst economic growth is well below the long-term average of 3.25%, the economy is simply not strong enough to help lift employment numbers rapidly. Unfortunately, one of the bigger legacies of the global financial crisis is the higher unemployment levels. Part of the reason the Reserve Bank has lowered interest rates yet again this year is that research has shown that unemployment will not fall unless there was a further significant drop in interest rates. So let's hope it has a desired effect, although it takes quite some time for employment levels to respond to lower interest rates. One hopeful and encouraging sign is that employer demand for staff has been getting stronger, with job number of advertisements up pretty much every month over the last 9 months. So whilst we are all reasonably used to unemployment being in that 6 to 6.5% range, it does cause many people to hold back from their real estate purchasing intent because of the lack of security around their own employment, or by the very fact that they are unemployed. one could only imagine how hot the real estate market would really be in many of the markets where unemployment was considerably lower. Can't resist the opportunity of telling you that the last Gold Coast unemployment figure was 4.6% in February of this year, which is almost 2% lower than the national average. I bet that figure surprises many. Well, that's it for this fortnight. Don't forget to look at the short video regarding the 2018 Commonwealth Games. It is visually quite spectacular. Also, next e-newsletter will cover the last of the 5 fundamentals that drive the real estate market. So until then, stay safe as we travel through the midway mark of the autumn season. Regards for now.